Hey fellow equestrians, it is Claire here, and today I am going to tell you my riding story. So, everything from when I was little itty bitty me who loved horses to right until now. So, let's get started. So, um, first of all, I'm going to apologize for my horrible sunburn. I look like a tomato. So, there you guys go. There's that. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay, so let's get started. So, when I was younger, I was always obsessed with horses and never really knew why. I'd never ridden a horse before. I just loved them for some reason. And years and years and years, I tried to convince my parents to let me do lessons, and they finally did when I was about, I don't remember how old I was, but they let me start taking lessons for about a year, Western, and then we had to stop because it got really expensive. After that, I spent the next year or two trying to convince them to let me start up lessons again. I made PowerPoints to try and convince them on why I needed riding lessons and how it would benefit my life. And I worked so hard to get horseback riding lessons, and then they finally said yes. So when they said yes, we started looking for a barn, and a friend of ours recommended Laura Roach. And so we stopped by her barn, talked to her, and I started doing lessons with her. Um, she's a really, really great trainer, and I started learning how to ride English and how to jump. And I absolutely loved it, and that's just what I had my mind set on it. I knew that's what I was going to do. And because we didn't have much money, I worked to get money off of my lessons. I cleaned stalls, I fed the horses, I watered them, all that good stuff, just so I could get a little bit of money off my lessons so I could keep riding. Then I did my first half lease on a horse ever. Her name was Star. She was a little bay Arab, and oh my gosh, she was just the cutest thing ever. But after that, she got a bone chip in one of her legs, and she went back to her owner's house, so I had to stop leasing her. And right after that, January 12th, 2013, my dad got diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer. And so that hit our family pretty hard. And the day after he was diagnosed, he got rushed into surgery to remove that tumor. And they were pretty successful in removing it. But it was still really tough on our family because we all knew brain cancer was something that never just went away, would always come back. So I knew I needed to find another horse because horses are my therapy. I need something to keep me sane. So after that, in March of 2013, I found this horse named Trinity. He was a 15-3 buckskin Appaloosa gelding who did not look like an Appaloosa at all. But that was my first ever full lease. So I paid for all of his expenses, and I was the only one who rode him, and it was amazing. I boarded him at this barn called Sunset Trails Stables, and I actually got a job there teaching lessons and birthday parties and trail rides and all this fun stuff. So that was really, really great for me to do. And I started doing hunter jumpers for a while with him, but soon after that I realized it just wasn't his thing. It wasn't for him. So then we started doing lots of 4-H and FFA, Western Pleasure, trail, equitation, all that stuff. And he was great at it, and he loved it, and it was awesome. We did state fair, and we just had a blast. But I always knew that jumping was my thing. So I started looking for some other options. So my trainer had a horse, Tigger, that I actually rode at a jumper show once, and I fell in love with him. So I started leasing him as well and did show jumping with him while I still did my pleasure stuff with Trinity. So then that horse Tigger, who was just a short, fat, little dark bay pony who we had no idea what he was some mix of everything and anything. He actually introduced me into eventing. We went to a cross country schooling, and I loved it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So then after that, we started working on eventing, and we had our first one-day horse trial at the novice level, and we actually won. And I was super, super excited about that. That was just amazing. But soon after that, I realized that I couldn't afford doing both disciplines and both horses. So after a really long, hard time thinking and a really tough decision, I decided to give Trinity back and my lease with him and start full leasing Tigger, and just set my mind on eventing and, start doing that a lot more. So that was September of 2015 that I ended my lease with Trinity. And then when me and Tigger started doing training level horse trials and we're about to move up to prelim, we found that he had gone lame. So I took him to the vet, found out he had navicular, a negative palmar angle, a bunch of other stuff that I don't care to explain, but he was going to need a lot of time for rest. And I didn't have the time to wait for that. I needed to find another horse. So sadly, I had to end my lease with him, and I started looking for another horse. So that was May of 2016 that Tigger went lame, and I just started riding our my project horse, Mocha, that I was teaching how to jump and trying to sell. So I started riding her a lot, competing with her, and she was a 16-hand dark bay paint mare. She didn't have any spots or anything, but she was just the sweetest little mare ever. Tried her heart out. Oh my God. She's honestly the best mare I've met in my life. So I started riding her while I was looking for another horse. And then I also had another project horse named Vouter, who was a leopard spotted Appaloosa, who I taught barrels and pulls and all that rodeo stuff. And we competed in barrel runs and won money, and we won High Point in the speed events at a couple of shows, and he was just kind of really fun to ride. He wasn't an English horse or an eventing horse, but it was really fun doing all that Western stuff with him. Sorry guys, I had to move locations because my family was coming home and being loud, so I had to come outside. So after I found Russian on Craigslist, and he was just this big 16 3-hand Oldenburg thoroughbred mix who used to do eventing at the lower levels, and then he was shipped to a new place in Kansas where the owner was kind of scared of him, so he just sat in her pasture for like 4 or 5 years untouched. And I saw him and I was like, ooh, I like him. I'm going to teach him back how to event again. He's going to be my eventer. So I started leasing him in June of 2016, and he was awesome. We did a couple novice horse trials and then a couple training level horse trials. And then on July 17th of 2016, my dad actually passed away of brain cancer at 3:15 in the morning. And it was kind of a really, really hard time for me. It was just a really rough time. The whole 2 weeks before he passed away, he was actually doing really bad. We had hospice on call in our house all the time because he just couldn't really do anything himself. He lost movement in his left side, so he couldn't really walk and he couldn't really do anything. And then he started being able to not talk, and he was doing weird things because his brain was making him think weird things. And then eventually, a couple of days leading up to his death, he actually it just was like he was in a coma. He was just laying there. He wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, he wasn't talking, and it was pretty rough. But he passed away at 3:15 in the morning, and everyone, after the coroner came to pick him up, everyone was just gonna go back to bed, and I knew I couldn't. Really, dog? okay, I knew I couldn't. So I went back. I actually went out to the barn at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just rode. I didn't know what else to do, so. But, so it was a really hard time for me, but horses got me through it, mostly. So after I kind of got over that and everything went back to normal, I kept working with and riding Rushton and competing. And then right as we were about to move up to prelim, I took him for a preseason vet check, and the vet actually found a pre-existing injury that forced him to have to be retired. So it was a really hard time for that to happen. Right before show season was about to start, and I was super excited on how it was going to go, and we were going to have a great season, but actually I had to take him back to his owners and end his lease so he could live his life out in the pasture, and I didn't want to risk his health or ride him into the ground, so I just brought him back and am letting him live his life out happy, and I can go out and see him whenever I want to. So now I had been horse searching for a long time, and I hadn't been riding because I didn't have a horse, but actually like a couple days ago I found this really awesome horse named Deep Gulch. He's a really cool horse, and I'm not going to spoil too much of it. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know everything about him, but I actually bought him, and he's in Kentucky right now, so I won't pick him up until after Rolex, so I won't be headed home with him until May 1st. But so he's going to be the new chapter of my riding story. Hopefully he'll be my new event horse, and if not, if he doesn't like eventing, then he'll just be a project horse and I'll sell him and buy something else. But I really think he's going to work out, and I really think he's going to like eventing. So really excited to go see him, really excited to bring him home and start riding him. So yeah, that's my riding story. So I will be posting daily vlogs at Rolex. So those are 3 vlogs from Rolex, and then another vlog of bringing my new horse home and introducing you guys to him. So stay tuned. I will bring you guys all of that, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to see pictures of him and, you know, be more informed on him and all that stuff. So I will link all that stuff below on my social medias. If you guys have any questions, ask them on my Ask FM, which I will also link below, because it's just so hard to answer questions when you comment them on my videos, just because I get so many comments. It's hard to go through them all and make sure I've answered all of them. So ask them in my Ask FM, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it. So sorry it's been so long since I posted another video. It's just been really hard to find motivation to make a video when I was getting depressed and having anxiety because I wasn't able to ride a horse, and it's just coming back from after my dad passed away. I got really depressed and really bad anxiety, and so it all just started to come back again, and I just needed to take a break from YouTube and a little break from Instagram, but I am back and I'm better than ever, and when I get my new horse, I will be back to posting videos all the time. So you guys will get lots of videos coming up soon. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked it. Click that like button. Click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.